Hi, I am your instructor, Susan Escobar, and welcome to Instructional Design IMED 2301. This is a completely online class, so you will not be meeting in the classroom unless you have some difficulties. You can always go to the lab in Juniper Hall 1316. If you have issues, that's the multimedia lab. But otherwise, everything that we do in this class you can do on your home system, on your home computer. So there's really no need, unless you have issues, to come into the classroom. I want to talk a little bit first about my background, how I got into instructional design, or how I got into the field of multimedia technology was actually as an instructional designer. I went through and got my master's degree in instructional technology, which got me using all the software and things like that, and also instructional design classes. And then I started working as an instructional designer, multimedia developer. And I worked for a contracting firm here in San Antonio, but I worked developing training for a lot for the military, a lot for the Air Force, Air Force Surgeon General, School of Aerospace Medicine. Some of the big companies that I've developed training for are Boeing and Southwestern Bell, but I've also developed training for universities, and here at Northwest Vista I've developed curriculum. So that's kind of what an instructional designer does. What is instructional design? Instructional design is developing methods for the most efficient and effective ways of learning. And the reason why we include a program like that in this program, or a class like that in this program, is because so many jobs here in San Antonio are actually with developing training for the military or developing training for corporations. Even if you get a job here at a place like Northwest Vista, a lot of it is going to be putting classes or putting instructional materials on the internet. So having a background or having an understanding in instructional design is actually a feather in your cap and is going to be very helpful for you. So let's talk a little bit about how this course is going to be structured. Your materials are put onto the course in week-by-week segments. Now you can go ahead and look in advance if you so choose. That's fine. I ask that you don't post your projects in advance if you get done. Post your projects during the time that they're due. But the reason why I'm allowing you to look ahead is because this summer is going to be so intensive. Typically, the academic semester lasts 16 weeks. The summer semester lasts only 8 weeks. So basically, you have to do double work, in half the time. So it's really very important that you don't procrastinate, that you get a jump on your projects, because this is an intensive course. Make no mistake about it. Even though it's not a technology or a heavy-duty technology course, though I will be asking you to develop some little multimedia projects for me just to present information that you're learning. Even though it's not a technology course, it's not going to be a cakewalk for y'all. The projects that we're going to be working on here in week 1, the first thing you should always do in the week is take a look. There's a link called Objectives, and the objectives will tell you everything that is due during this period or during this week and what you should be working on. This week, the first thing that I need you to do is go ahead and introduce yourself in the discussion boards. There should be a link there in week 1. I know there's a link there that says like the week's links or something, and if you open it up, that has all the discussion board topics that we're going to talk about. I need you to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about what your background is in multimedia technology and why you're in this course, which is most likely because it's required for your degree plan, but maybe you have some interest, I don't know. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to provide a list of instructional design methodologies, or instructional design models is the word I'm looking for. And I'm going to have you create a little, it can be in Flash, it can be on web pages, it can be in PowerPoint, whatever it is, that is going to review 2 separate models of instructional design and then compares this model is good for blah, 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 whereas this model is good for this other thing. This is a more streamlined model. This is a more client-centric model. Whatever it is, you're comparing the 2 models against each other based on what you find. And then the last project, and there will be more information on these projects in the links, but the last thing that we're going to work on this week is we're going to start looking at basically one of the new frontiers in education and training, which is education and training that happens in a virtual world. And so we're going to be creating Second Life avatars. And I don't know if you've ever heard anything about Second Life before, but basically forget everything you've ever heard, and we're starting over. And it's going to be a lot of fun, but it is going to be challenging because it's not necessarily an easy thing to do, but it is fun. So we'll have fun with those projects. Again, the biggest thing, do not procrastinate with your projects. Don't try to do everything over a weekend because you're not probably going to be able to do it. In fact, some things may require several days. So make sure that you're checking your projects or your weekly assignments and keeping up with them. Feel free to contact me. My contact information should be down here somewhere below the video, and I shall see you all later.